Hello and welcome into Von Barron's podcast and another episode, another installment. And I'm here with the proprietor of Von Barron Motorcycles, Christopher Keel, and alongside of him, it's yours truly, Bobby Stein, your host. You know, we're going to talk today a little bit about the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, but just prior to that, Chris, you brought on a new product line into the family, and I'd like you to share with everybody just a brief outline, because we're going to do an episode designated specifically for that lineup. And what did you bring in?
Well, we brought in the new line Moto Morini. They're from Italy, a company from Italy since 1937. Right now, we currently have 4 of their models here and expect another 2 shortly. I don't want to get into too much details because we're going to, be talking about it on the next podcast. But if you're looking to see what they're all about and want to take a look at them, go to www.motomarineusa.com.
Okay, and you'll have a description down at the bottom of this video so that the folks can click over there and get an overview. Of course, we're going to do that episode like you mentioned. The reason for this episode, and welcome in everybody, we appreciate having you for sure. The reason for this episode is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Tell us about that. I'm brand new to it. Is it something that's been going on for a while, and what's the significance?
Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, if I'm not mistaken, was started in around 2011, 2012. We've been hosting the ride in our location, the Naples/Fort Myers ride, since 2013. So every year, it's a worldwide event. It's to raise money for prostate cancer and men's suicide prevention. So basically, men's health. And it started off in Australia, and it's grown. It's basically a not a nationwide, but a worldwide
Global
event. Yeah. So it happens in every single city. Well, not every single city, but pretty much all the biggest cities across the world. And some groups have, could have as few as 10 riders. And then other groups could have thousands of riders. It's just a great event, which is also sponsored by Triumph and Hedon and a bunch of other guys that are involved. So
outstanding. So you've been involved with it since its inception in this vicinity since 13. So you're coming up. This will be your 12th event that you're a part of.
Yeah, 12. It'll be our 12th event. I think the only event we actually missed, unfortunately, was COVID. When COVID was going on,
Yeah.
we couldn't pull it together.
I gotcha. What's the date coming up for that? When can
the date is coming up as May 18th. So it's May 18th, 2025, and you just if you want to register and go on to the event, you just go to gentlemansride.com. And if you're not in Naples, if you're in Naples, of course, or Fort Myers, you just look for the Naples ride. And if you're not from here, you just look for a ride that's closest to you and join the ride with them.
Now, you mentioned anywhere from 10 riders in a locality or vicinity up to thousands. What does the Naples, Bonita Springs, Florida, Fort Myers area, what do you guys usually expect? What's the turnout?
Well, we started off small, because as you introduce something, I think we started out with a few riders our first year. It was pretty, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun. And the next year, I think we had 8 to 10 riders. And that was even more fun, because you get to meet some cool people, and some of those people actually today are still my friends. We became friends from the second ride.
And do they still many of the originators or the people that came out, are they still part of it?
Oh yeah, a lot of those guys will still come and still show up and show face. And what's cool about it, everybody dresses up dapper and gets their bow ties on. And
you got to be a distinguished gentleman.
Yeah. The pipes sometimes. I mean, there's
cigars, pipes.
Yeah, there's cats that go all out. They got the canes. They got the overcoats. And
so
the top hats.
What's the era? Is it what year was it? Is it based on? So when you get dressed up, what are they mimicking? Like the 1800s, the 1900s?
Not necessarily, but yeah, I mean, old school to. I mean, it's a vintage motorcycle, so the bikes that are in the event, they're expected to all be vintage motorcycles.
And what are you riding?
I'm personally riding a Triumph, so that's what I'll be riding in the event.
What year is it?
2004 actually, but it's sponsored by Triumph, so it says Cafe Racer, style bike. So
my favorite.
The Cafe Racers and the vintage bikes and the sidecars with bikes, the old classic Hondas, the classic Kawasaki's. I mean, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You literally, when you come out, I mean, I've seen Moto Guzzi's, I mean, Ducatis. There's a little bit of everything that goes out.
Hey, and we're back.
Oh, oops, you're still here.
Technical snafu addressed immediately by the staff here in the back. We're gonna have to make sure that they get some compensation for that, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
What time and where do you all meet? What's it start?
Okay, well, the ride details are posted on the website, so we don't share the ride details only so that people
Incognito.
will actually go to the website and register, and that's where you find them.
And what's the cost to ride in it?
Well, the cost is free. However, we ask everybody donate. I mean, that's kind
For
of
those two causes that you mentioned.
but it's the same organization. Distinguished Gentlemen's Ride. They're the ones who accept the money. Everybody who volunteers, and we also have volunteers that help out. There'll be guys that'll stay with the crowd and make sure everybody gets through the lights, and there's guys kind of waving people through, and there's always a good group of volunteers when we do the ride every year. We follow it up with a truck, make sure that anybody gets hurt.
Didn't get left behind or hurt.
Yeah, we got a first aid kit, and we'll be able to pick up their bike if we need to, so it's pretty organized.
Outstanding. And what time does it start, and how long does it go? How many miles?
It starts in the early morning. Once again, I don't want to give away the ride details, but it starts early in the morning. We'll leave from Naples, and then we'll basically cruise down to Fort Myers through a nice
loop.
Yep, and it's good. It's probably a couple hour. By the time you come down, meet everybody, hang out. We meet a little early, give a chance to people to have some coffee, whatnot.
Hang out
before we go. Meet other riders, talk about bikes. Usually we have somebody taking pictures there and stuff like that. So it's cool, and then we take off, and then we'll go eat, and go to the next stop, and we'll eat and hang out, and it's just a good group,
camaraderie.
Yeah,
lots of food.
Like-minded people who feel strongly about donating to a good cause, and also get to share some knowledge of some vintage bikes and
enjoying their hobby.
Yep, enjoy their hobby, and then
that's awesome.
Wave at people as you drive down the road, because they're like, whoa. It's like 90 degrees. We're doing in suits riding down the street,
That's good stuff.
But I mean, it's not just for gentlemen. It's for ladies too. So,
okay. I see.
Ladies,
you hear that, ladies? There
ladies can come dapper, as well. They don't have to just be, sitting on the side.
Window dressing. They're part and parcel. They are participants.
Yep.
If you decide to, ladies, get down and do the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride with the fellas, and show off your gear, show off your outfit, your vintage bike. Of course, everybody's donating to a wonderful cause. That's prostate cancer, right? Which is a huge one. You're going to send your monies to that way, help affect the cause. And what was the other one? Share with me.
Suicide prevention.
So mental health and stuff like that.
So
worthy causes.
Yeah, they're both worthy causes, and unfortunately, in this day and age, we definitely need more research on both subjects, really. So
yeah, it's funny. You tend to address, many of us as men, right? Especially, we're proud. So speaking both to the prostate scenario and the mental health, we always tend to address what we can see and what's tangible, and what goes on behind our eyeballs, between our ears. We're taxed with a lot of responsibilities, like you say, in this day and age, and it's really important to, if we're feeling a little off kilter or something, raise your hand, and
Yep.
There's people out there that are willing to assist, and that's what this ride is going to venture to do, in addition to having a great time.
Yep, there's always an ear out there who will listen if you just ask. So,
Yep.
if you need help, especially for suicide and stuff like that, it's always
Absolutely.
Just don't be afraid to ask. There's usually somebody who's wanting to talk to you, or wants to help you see things through.
Willing to help. Yep. Well, there you have it, Chris. Any other words on the upcoming event, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride?
Well, I just we ask if those who join with us, they keep it safe. Remember, not everybody might have the skills that you have as far as a rider is concerned. We ask that people stay in line, try to stay organized,
Orderly.
Orderly. There's a time and place to show off and show your motor skills, and then there's times not to. We just want a nice, clean event like we've had every year. And please donate to the cause, because it's super important. You go to gentlemansride.com and sign up for your local ride, and then put the donation button. And you can even sponsor yourself and put yourself out there to get other people to basically sponsor you for a rider. So
There you go.
So when you sign up, it's not just, you're just registering for yourself and donating for yourself.
That's a great point.
Yeah, you can actually get people, you can get people to sponsor you as a rider that you're taking a part of this event, and and get those who aren't necessarily going to be a part of riding the event, they can but play a part. You'd be surprised, how many people really have ties to, prostate cancer, somebody they've known in the past, and this kind of ride really hits home with people. So it's good to give back, and it's important.
Yeah.
So
it feels good.
We just ask everybody at least donate as much as you can. Whether it's $10, $20, $100, whatever you can.
Wonderful.
Afford.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it, folks. The Distinguished Gentleman Ride is coming up this
May
spring,
18th.
May 18th. Go online, check it out, register yourself. There's room for sponsorships. It's a worthy cause. It's a lot of fun. You leave out bright and early. You get something to eat. You get to see a lot of cool stuff, right? I'm sure, like you said, cafe racers, a lot of vintage stuff. The majority is vintage stuff. And, of course, you get to ride in your dapper gear. If you got a handlebar mustache with the wax, bring it aboard, because that's what we're looking for.
Yep. It's gonna be a cool event. We're excited. We're excited to have everybody again. It's gonna be fun, and we'll see you there. So come on down and sign up for the Gentleman's Ride.
Absolutely. And for Chris Keel, the proprietor here at Von Barron Motorcycles, I am your host, Bobby Stein, saying thanks for watching. And no matter what you ride,
we got you.
Have a great day. Hey folks, it's Bobby with Von Barron's podcast once again, reminding you to kindly share, like, subscribe. It really helps the program get some traction, and we greatly appreciate it. So thanks again for your ear holes, your eyeballs, and once again, no matter what you ride, we got you. Take good care.